All right. Hey, everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome back to the channel. Yeah, it's halftime for Critical Role episode 5 of campaign 4. We've got less than 12 minutes before they come back. Um, and I say no spoilers, but there's some things we're just going to have to talk about because a lot of this is like we're talking about expectations of when they came back from what was to me the end of the overture. They said it was the end of the overture and that we were coming back to the soldiers table, and I kind of assumed by that would be it, that it would just be the soldiers table that we're dealing with today. But that's not what happens here. We have the cold open. We basically kind of get like what felt like an extension of the last episode where they left, where it's just kind of like here's their feelings as they set off. And hey, Desi, how's it going? They cut the soldier table short, but they will be back after the break. So the crux of my big spoiler video will be about the second half of this. Because honestly, there's not a lot here that I don't think we can't discuss because it feels like this is the just more overture. Because we had the table set for soldiers, and now this is just pretty much setting the table for seekers and schemers. Something that I kind of wish at this point they had done last time, but whatever. Again, it's just expectations. I think a lot of people expected to be only the soldiers' table, but whatever. It does feel like now, next week, we'll really go all out. Or will we? I don't know. And again, it's not a big deal, but like you say here in the comments, it was almost a recap, and it does feel like that. You do, yes, we did get them talking about their feelings. I mean, but then we get like the intro, and I want to talk about the intro, the new intro. Okay. And I just got to do it by comparing. Okay. This is my least favorite intro they've ever done. But by saying that, I mean, I love all the other intros. I don't really like this one very much, but it's an intro. So it's like, whatever, right? Whatever. But like, campaign 1, cosplay, special effects in the woods, very low tech, but looks really cool. And honestly, campaign 1's intro, original intro, where they're in just dressed up as their characters and run around, I think it's really awesome. And then, the Mighty Nine had the nerds, all the kids playing Dungeons and Dragons, but it's the cast doing it. It's really fun. And then the animated intro that they never had to get rid of. They just kind of changed maybe some of the NPCs that they talk with. And I love that one. And then Bell's Hell's intros were fantastic. Their beginning one of It's Thursday Night I love that one the most. Their animated one was also really good. So I kind of felt like we were going to get, something along those lines. And instead, what I feel like we got is like Cirque du Soleil with some imagery that kind of reminds me of what's kind of happening. I don't, like there's masks, there's orcs, there's a guy hanging upside down spinning. I honestly, it really felt like Cirque du Soleil, and I'm just not really. I was just kind of like bored with that. I can't wait for them to do something else. How many episodes before they do a proper intro? I don't care, but I really didn't like the intro that much. But again, it's just an intro. Who really cares? Also, the ads. I was just really happy that we're getting a roll call shirt already. I immediately bought that sucker. Okay, I immediately bought the roll call shirt. It's done deal. I'm completing my Sam Riegel Chibi collection. I have a Scanlan, but I also just got a FCG and a Not one. Yeah, we were talking about that it's probably Hal's Theater, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like, uh, okay, yeah, it's just a little. It's just not for. I don't know. I just don't really like it. But again, it's an intro, so who cares? Um, I love Sam recalled he was sitting side saddle. Yes, side saddle Sam. Um, Ashley's part of the ad was hilarious. Her making out with a Stephen Tobolowsky picture. Shout out to Stephen Tobolowsky and David Paymer, not David Palmer, and, and Wallace Shawn. Really fun stuff. But then again, when we come back, it's basically just them setting up the seekers and the schemers. And I feel like that's just kind of continuing the overture a little bit. Like we really haven't set out. And since this episode on Beacon is only 3 hours and 31 minutes long, that means that, and I'm glad that it's short. I kind of am glad that it's short because at least then I got to do this. But again, 3 hours and 31 minutes, I thought, oh, well, that's a perfect length for just the soldiers table to do. But now all we really get is, again, the immediate, like, effects of what happened to Octus, the distrust that's still going on amongst each other, the Nightstone, Vela still wanting that, everybody trying to keep her away from it. So it still just feels like a continuation of all of those events still happening. And I love it. I mean, they brought up the vision, and it's real easy to talk about this. I don't feel like I have to spoil anything because they're really covering things that already happened. Just bringing up, oh, you're a mask. Oh yeah, we just dealt with that, So like what new information do we have that I can really spoil here in this first part, other than like there's some character stuff between Julian and Azune that was good that I won't spoil here, that kind of leads to stuff that happened in the Falconers Rebellion. There's a lot more with like how they want to deal with the Nightstone and the connections that has with the coffin. All these things just kind of setting up more things that are happening pretty soon. And the humor. I was just complaining about the humor being gone, and boy, did they start bringing the funny in this one. It's lots of jokes. Especially right near the end there, Octus talking about how he died a virgin, and Liam saying, "Well, you're always hard now, rigor mortis," and not having to do, when Murray brings up that he's got a thesis report still, and he's like, "I don't fucking have to do that anymore. I'm not doing homework. I died." Like there was a lot of fun being had at the table. They even managed to break Matt a couple of times from his super serious focus that he has with trying to just be Sir Julian 24/7. Let's see, what else do I have written here? Because I did take notes. For this just so I could say some things. And like I said, it just turns out it's kind of just a recap. And now, we have it official. Who's the seekers? Who's the schemers? So the seekers have taken off. The schemers sat around here, and they've got, their own work to do. And now, after we come back from the break, we will be dealing with the soldiers table. And hopefully that means that the last back half of this, which should be about, let's see, it's a 3 hour and 31 minute episode. So we got at least about an hour and a half or so, maybe a little longer, where it'll just be the soldier stuff taking over. And what else do I have here other than it was cool seeing Bolaire kind of face off against Valus a little bit here. Kind of funny too. And yeah. Oh, and them bringing up the several families that are working independently from each other and how they need to basically cause them to turn on each other. So again, not a ton of stuff happened. A lot of stuff was just kind of going over things that have happened. But again, it was really just to set up the seekers and the schemers for sure and send everybody off on their way, which I think they finally did here. So after episode 4's letting the soldiers go, we have now finally officially let the seekers and the schemers go off to do their own things. And now when we come back here in just a minute and 50 seconds by the clock on TV here, we'll be coming back to the soldiers table. So don't forget to hit like, subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow night with the full episode video talking about everything else that's happened and anything else that I can think of maybe from the first half that I didn't talk about. But I think I talked about it all. And again, I don't think I really spoiled anything that we didn't that was really major, like, oh no. So anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.